What's up, everybody? How's it going today? It is January 10th. It's Friday. Here I am in the studio really quickly with you. And I worked really hard this week on trying to figure out what this plus 3 thing is all about, right? So we got a new thing in the studio. I have it wired a specific way right now. And I spent a lot of time with the manual and reading and trying to figure out where this thing is going to fit in my studio, right? So the configuration you're seeing right now is the plus 3 is going into a interface. Excuse me. And that, I was having trouble trying to figure out what this thing does and how it controls anything. But it's basically an expression pedal and a sustain pedal, and that's what it is. Come on. Cat, you can sit with me. All right, and so, sorry, I got a cat that wants to hang out. As soon as I start playing music, she wants to be in the studio. But yeah, I mean, what we're working on is the idea that, like, controlling a keyboard or, you know, like jamming out on something, and you know, yeah, when we're playing music, the idea is, like, can I play it a little different than, you know, a standard way of playing? Like, I love playing keyboard, don't get me wrong, but a lot of techno songs, there's, like, really cool ideas, there's fun rhythmic ways to play the keyboard, and just turning a knob for the main filter cutoff isn't always what all of us want to do, you know, like, having the slider for filter cutoff is actually super cool. And it's really cool because it's very close to the user. You can see this is like a tabletop model. So the fact that I can have it in front of me, I can move it around. You know, it's mobile, right? And Loopop's videos are amazing. If you don't watch anything Loopop does for the synth community, he's the one who's explaining everything before most of us buy it. So the whole Loopop thing is, he's really good at just giving you a nice cut and dry, you know, review. He'll review something, he'll show you the details, he'll do a great video. He has oscilloscopes and, like, you know, like EFT, you know, he's showing you like frequency response. So I think in his channel there's really something great going on. And there's something changing in the synth community too, because I've noticed some people are like, there's a little battle going on between people who use brand X and people who don't use brand X. But I think, again, my channel is here to encourage everybody to learn new ways to make music, right? I'm not trying to tell you what brand to buy. I'm telling you what gear inspires me, and then I give you an idea, and then you can pull off what I do with any gear, you know, with a Roland keyboard, with a drum machine from Erica Synths. You could do it with a polysynth from Behringer. You could do it with a monosynth from Korg. So whatever way you feel like making music, I'm hoping my channel makes you see a technique and go, oh my god, I should try that, you know, to inspire yourself to make new music. The other thing I try to uncover in my channel is going to be things like a new thing that seemingly would be the most simple idea, and then someone would go, why the heck would someone put something like this out, right? A gate and a fader, you know, like, why would somebody do this? Well, you guys are seeing the results, and I'm going to explain the patch, and we're going to walk through it together, and maybe on your system you have a slider and a button that are close to each other, and you can maybe map this in a plugin. You can maybe map this in a synthesizer with a different button, because I have a button here that's a manual button. Yes, you can do the same technique as what I'm doing here with this button, right? So let's talk about what I'm doing in the patch, right? So right now we got a patch. It's not very confusing. It's an oscillator. The oscillator goes into a mixer, and that mixer goes into a filter, and then the filter goes into amplifier, and the amplifier goes into another mixer. There is no envelope generator in this patch because the envelope is when the gate's down, the sound comes out, and right? And when the gate's down, the sound is high, and what note I press is the keyboard in front of us, right? And then when I lift the button, the sound goes away, and I do have a delay after the sound. So what you're hearing there is some delay because I like a little bit of travel after the sound, and then the filter is literally assigned to that voltage. So I have two things going on, right? You push the button down and you slide a slider, right? And this thing would invert like now the button's down, and if you touch it, you interrupt it. So it's backwards. And then he said this would change the range. Sorry. So it sounds a little brighter when the switch is up, meaning it goes a little further, right? So this technique was first made popular by, I believe, it might have been Brian Eno, I don't know, because this idea that you could hold down a sound and it would come out when you need it, right? So and if I just use it to hide the next key that I hit, so you don't hear when I change the note. Does that make sense? So almost like if you had a ribbon controller on the volume, or this is on the filter, so that I hide the sound again when I change. You hear how crazy that sounds, right? Now, I don't know if Brian Eno was the first person to play with a volume knob on a sound and with a delay, and then like lifted the sound and brought it away. But this is the first technique that I'm going to share with everybody. This is more like ambient music, and again, I'm using a fader with the filter. I hit a note that you don't hear me press, and then, and then I make the sound, right? Now I hold down the gate because that's what's going to make my sound come out. Now if I invert that, I don't have to push the button, and the sound's just constantly here. Now it's nice in ambient music that you don't and to me, it feels like how a horn player onsets a note. Like they wait, they blow, and the note starts to happen, right? So it's not like it's like as soon as they. Now you could do that too, right on the change, right? You could just. You could just use it as like ribbon control on that parameter, right? So, right. Where else could I use that would be, another good question, right? So, could I use it, like when I use it on the monopoly, let me see. The monopoly, I'm actually hiding a chord. And there's an envelope generator, so if I leave the chord open, you'll hear it go away, and that's over a longer period of time, right? The slider, though, could also control the speed of another voltage, so that when the slider's high, the voltage is fast, right? And when the slider's low, the voltage is slow, right? And in making that patch, hopefully I'm not going to ruin our ears. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to take an LFO, and that is now the speed. So I'm controlling the speed of my LFO with the voltage from the knob, right? And I can use the button to hide the next note, right? So another an inventive way or fun way to use it is I'm controlling a voltage with the slider. Right? So in this isn't a joke, you know, like in any Ableton patch now that you use, right? In any Ableton patch, could you set a slider on your MIDI controller to control the speed of an LFO? Yes, you can. In Fruity Loops, can you use a chord and make the chord come out with a fader on the filter? Yes, you can. Could you do it in Cubase? Can you do it in Logic? So the idea that I'm trying to teach right now is non-software, non-hardware specific. Last night, me and Dan were doing this with his Nord. I was going to stream from his studio, but someone requested ARP 2600, which I am going to do a stream on. Don't worry, we're going to do a 2600 stream soon. But I want to learn this a little better because the first stream I did with it didn't turn out good. And I didn't realize I need a translation module to translate what all this was doing. I couldn't get anything out of it. And I kind of crashed and burned on stream, which I do sometimes, which, you know, I'm human. But now, you know, you can see. This thing is awesome, you know, like it's just. If you make ambient style music or you need just like one parameter to be literally at your fingertips. Now, I know I could be doing this here, but the slider is so high quality, it like just feels so good when you do it, right? That it works out really well. You know, everything on this is just built great. So that's kind of something that I think they did a really, really good job on. And thank you, Control Voltage, for getting it to me so fast, man. I mean, I ordered it was like at my house in like 3 days. The guys are so great there. Lots of fun stickers. Control Voltage is my favorite store. It's in Portland, Oregon. So this is not a paid promotion for them, but I do like it and some of my gear from them. Some of my drum stuff I do get from Sweetwater just because my rep just sends me stuff, you know. So remember, when you're making music, the idea here is to get creative and try not to get too down on the gear that you've purchased if people are kind of dogging you. Try to stay creative and try to use the gear that you like. In the quest to do things, always try to find a new creative way to, you know, to have fun. And the example that I was using, and this is the OPXY. So excuse me. go? Where'd the synth go, right? Ah, yeah, I got it. Now this is the .com because I'm controlling the speed of the LFO on the filter, right? See how it changed? So you can have two patches, you know, and you can juxtapose them against each other, right? That comes back to my lesson in don't like stack two things. Like we could have played both of them at the same time. Yeah, that's a little heavy duty. If I do one thing, the chords on the monopoly, and then I do another thing, the LFO changing the speed on the .com for the next part, it's like I almost wrote two parts to a song by just switching instruments, okay? So in a lot of techno, sometimes the instruments switch, and you're like, man, this new part's so cool. Listen to new sound Y or new sound B, whatever sound they put in, right? So remember, sometimes like just smashing a bunch of synths on top of each other is not always the best. Like if you let one talk, take a break, let the next one talk, take a break, let the, you know, drum machines is fun to do that with too, because you'll make two different parts with two different machines. Who knows, you know? Kind of like sky's the limit there, right? All right, so right now it is, 10 after 9. I have to teach a lesson in a little bit on Ableton and some on guitars and amps and stuff like that, so I'm going to get going. Hopefully everybody had a fun morning kind of just jamming out with me, learning what the +3 kind of does, and how I have it working with the Modular, which is a pedal interface, the Q142 from synthesizers.com, and I'm using it with a Behringer monopoly, and I'm controlling the filter. You know, that's all I was doing for that one part. So like I said, if you have a MIDI controller, you can do it with a button on the like on the VCA, and you can do the slider on your filter, and this could be on Ableton, Logic, Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, Cubase, whatever thing you like, you know, even if it's the free software you borrowing from whatever, you know, like till you have enough money, you know, to buy. Like, look, I'm just saying, get out there, be creative. The other thing is be kind to each other on the internet, you know, like be friendly, you know. If you have an opinion, you can state it, but don't get aggressively mean about stuff, you know. Don't attack people, you know. Everybody kind of calm down in this environment and enjoy being around each other, enjoy other people's music. If you want to support this channel, you can always purchase my sample packs from Gumroad. They're on outofthebag.org. You could always buy a record on Bandcamp, or you could email me some comments on what you want to see next. You could subscribe to the channel or like a video. If you need to see more content that's based on things that you're trying, you could always send me an email, or you can send me a comment, and then I can try to tackle a concept that you want to see on video. The +3 is not a paid promotion. It's $79 pedal. I thought it was the nicest idea for me to just start messing around with sound and to change my approach by bringing the sustain pedal off of the floor. This is a sustain and expression pedal that you can take off the floor. It's passive. There is no battery, nothing like that. I, again, bought mine at Control Voltage in Portland because Jason, Chris, Jake, and Guy are like great friends of mine. I think they're wonderful people. Endorphins is a cool company. Loopop makes a lot of the videos online, who teaches you how to use instruments. And his channel's great if you want to go look up Loopop. I know if you haven't seen him, you should definitely check him out. He's awesome. And yeah, you know, from here, I'm going to always teach more on the channel, music theory, different things like that. But again, if there's something you want to see, make a comment. Let me know what you would like. If there's any changes in the channel, I'm trying to make sure the audio is loud enough and everybody can hear me clearly and the music clearly. And I'm going to jam us out. So have a good Friday, January 10th. And yeah, thanks for tuning in and thanks for checking out the channel. All right.